What's up, MOGCubing, and today we're going to be covering EOLR for the 2A2 case. Let's get into it. With this case, there's actually 4 ways to EO. The way you're probably most familiar with is an M2, which sets up to arrow. That's very efficient. There is also a swap. You can do a swap with an M' U2M, or you can also do an M U2M from that angle. However, if we were looking at it from this angle, it would be an M' U2 M', etc. And so that's 2 ways, and those both seem pretty intuitive. The third and fourth way are not as intuitive, but it's important that you know them because it allows for some great solutions for EOLR. First off, we're going to slice in the same direction or slice in one way, like the sign on the road. And we're going to put both of the bad edges in the U layer into the bottom layer, like that. And that gives us an arrow. Additionally, we can insert them into the bottom layer separately by slicing back. And this is the fourth way. So we're going to slice, and then we're going to put this here, and we're going to slice back. And that gives us a different arrow. This case is pretty rare, but is one of the best EOLR cases outside of good, best arrows, mediocre arrow. This is where we have both LR edges in the U layer misoriented adjacent. So this is MM adjacent. And for this one, we literally just do an M2 from any angle, and it gives us a one move arrow, or the best arrow, as I like to call it. So for this case, misoriented in both layers, what we want to do is we want to set it up like this, where we have a misoriented edge that is not ULUR above the ULUR one in the D layer, and then we can swap this one up and from the back up to here, and that gives us a one move arrow. Additionally, you can do the same direction swap, where you push this up to the U layer, and then do a U2 and then bring it back down. So those are your 2 options, and that would give you a one move from the back. With this case, where they are both misoriented in the bottom layer, we are going to do the third setup to EO, where we slice in one direction. If you don't remember, we're going to be putting both bad edges into the bottom layer, like that. And that gives us a good arrow. This case, oriented, misoriented, adjacent, we are going to be doing a swap up into the U layer with one of these bad edges from the D layer to set up to a good arrow. And what's important is that you make sure that this ULUR edge is somewhere in the M slice. So that's how you know how to AUF. If it's like this, we're not going to be able to do the swap correctly. But if it's like this, or if it's like this, then it'll be okay. For this one, we do M U2 M', and that gives us a good arrow. Additionally, you can do a different swap, which is the M' U2 M', and that will also work from this angle. If we're in the back, the swaps change a little bit with notation, but you should intuitively be able to figure it out. For this case, we have an misoriented opposite case, and for this one, we want to make sure that our LR edges are in the M slice, and then we do the third setup to EO, the one-way arrow, and that will actually give us a one-move arrow, or as I like to call it, the best arrow. And that's that. For this case, we have oriented, misoriented in both layers, and this one is pretty simple. It's an M2 into a good arrow. However, if you get it from this specific case, I'll show you a really neat solution. So here we have the oriented edge and the misoriented edge diagonal in the M slice. And here what we're going to do is we're going to do the slice back setup to EO, or to arrow. And what that gives us is a one move arrow. And so this solution is 1/4 turn quicker if you get it from this angle than doing an M2 into the good arrow. Basically, you save an M2 by doing it all in single turns. Ignore that I messed up the AUF there, but yeah, super cool. For this final case, this is our oriented case. There's only one oriented adjacent. And for this one, like for many of them, we're going to be slicing in the one-way direction. We're doing the one-way slice, and we're going to be putting both of these into the D layer. However, it's going to give us a mediocre arrow, and for this case, that's actually the best we can do, unfortunately. And so we'll be solving the mediocre arrow with a swap into the one-move arrow. That's it for 2A2. In our next video, we're going to be covering 2A0. If you want to catch that, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss it. And if this video helped you, make sure to leave a like, and please comment below because I need validation from random people on the internet. Thank you. Godspeed.